Hi there, it's Jen from modernmedicinelady.com and the Empathic Woman System, and the word of the day is polarized. And I'm imagining that if you're here in the United States, you're probably feeling this too. The incredible polarization between the two parties and the two factions, and the way that at least the media is representing this tension and the idea that it's one or the other, that there's only one, there's one option or another option. And I was talking with a friend earlier, and she was saying that it feels like a big pimple that's just about to pop, and we're just all waiting for this to burst on Tuesday next week. So exactly a week from now, like Wednesday next week, we're all going to be on the other side of this. What's sad to me, though, and I realized really strongly, is that no matter what, half of our country, or a little bit less than half of our country, is going to be sad and is going to be disappointed and is going to be frustrated because their voice wasn't heard, their needs didn't get met. And I was thinking, just how sad it is that we're living in a time where if my side or my vision or my choice wins, there are going to be a lot of other people who are going to feel like their needs didn't get met. And if the opposite happens, then that's probably how a lot of the people that are on voting the way I vote are going to feel too. And I was just thinking how incredibly sad it is that we're in this place of looking at things from duality and polarization, instead of looking at things from the idea that life is really complicated and there are all kinds of ways that we can look at each other and regard each other. And most people are not black and white. Most people are not just either or. Most people are not just one thing or the other. And yet there's so much going on that's encouraging us to regard each other through these lenses, through these filters. And I know that everything that I've learned about solutions and about problem solving and about understanding things is that when we have the ability to look at a third option, when we have the ability to start imagining the possibility that there could be something in addition to the two choices we see in front of us, that's when our creativity opens up. That's when our minds open up. That's when we start being able to brainstorm and come up with amazing solutions. And I'm not necessarily going to go into a whole lot of stuff about politics, but I will say that in my state, we have a referendum right now for what's called ranked voting, which is the idea that it allows room for more than one voice or more than two choices to be acknowledged and to have an opportunity to actually have some weight. And I just think that in so many ways, in so many components of life, having that ability to regard the possibility that there's more than two options, that there's more, that it's not just either or, but that there can be both or alternatives and different ways of looking at it. So right now, I don't necessarily have some magic wand or major solution for how we deal with the polarization that we're going to be feeling for the next week, other than to say, within my own mind, what I'm working to do is break away from that polarity and to really recognize that we're all human beings with needs and who are trying to figure out the solution that we think is best for us. And so what I just really want to focus on is the outcome, the solution, the idea of the best possibilities for our country, as opposed to necessarily attaching it to, if this, then this will work best, but really focusing more on the idea of kindness, the idea of health, the idea of abundance, the idea of resolution, and the idea of creative solutions that we haven't even come up with yet. And I just want to say that in my experience and in what I know about human history, we are astonishingly resilient. And we are also procrastinators, and we are also like, we have this remarkable capacity to push ourselves right up against the edge and then figure out our solution. And I'm deeply hopeful about this because I really do believe that we have the technology, that we have the creativity, that we have the desire, and that we also, as human beings, fundamentally have the love and the compassion and the genuine desire to connect and support each other so that we are going to find solutions that don't keep us in this place of total polarization. So I'm not really sure if I have a question for you right now other than, how could you break out of the idea of polarization? How could you start thinking in terms of the whole and not looking at our country divided between conservatives and liberals, between Republicans and Democrats? How can you open up to the possibility of thinking about the solution and a vision for a healthy country, and not necessarily thinking about it in terms of whichever president we end up getting being the answer to it?